Following Susan's death, the scene fades out and transitions to midnight on May 3rd, 1974. Jack Walton is driving furiously down a road, heading toward Felix Kranken's house. He pounds on the door in a rage, screaming Felix's name, but receives no answer. We see a man completely consumed by desperation. He tries peeking through the window, threatening to kill Felix if he did anything to Ed or Molly. The image becomes distorted and static-filled as Jack begins slamming on the glass, overwhelmed with rage. Then we shift to the morning of the same day, deep in the Santa Juana forest. Felix is seen sitting at the bottom of a large pit beside the graves of Ed and Molly. The tape briefly shows the car accident. Molly's body lies in the back seat, while Felix is unconscious at the wheel, his head slumped against the blaring horn. Back in the present, Felix climbs out of the hole, carrying Rocket, Molly's backpack, and one shoe. He tosses the bag and the shoe off a cliff, but keeps Rocket, likely trying to destroy the evidence. He then slowly approaches the edge. Guilt is eating him alive. And yet, just as he was too cowardly to face his addictions, he's also too cowardly to take his own life and pay for what he's done. But maybe that's for the best. Living with this torment is a far worse punishment than simply fading away. The tape continues with an audio journal recorded by Felix on May 5th. In it, he confesses to having told Jack and Rosemary what happened. Felix describes it as the longest hour of his life and the most painful conversation he's ever had. Now both of them hate him. In fact, he says, he hates himself, and understandably so. He admits he hasn't been able to sleep, haunted by the knowledge that the children's bodies are still buried in the woods. He says he doesn't know what to do with Rocket. He can't get rid of him, because no matter where he goes, the doll follows. He describes Rocket as a constant reminder of his mistake. The tape then returns to the employees-only room right after Susan's death. Here we see Bond placing her body inside Banny's animatronic shell. But before continuing, let's pause to briefly examine the cause of her death. Some parts of the series suggest that Susan died of starvation, but that doesn't add up. She's clearly murdered by Bond in this moment. Or maybe not. It's possible that Susan was still alive after the attack, but left completely paralyzed after Bond snapped her neck. Although alive, she was gravely wounded, barely able to breathe, and with her stomach feeling strange, likely due to internal damage. This could explain why she felt like she was starving to death in her final moments. As Bond continues inserting Susan's body into Banny's suit, Rocket watches from the corner, helpless to stop him. We're then taken back to the strange, ethereal realm we glimpsed at the beginning of the episode, a white, surreal space known as Wonderland, a haunting kind of limbo for souls who died with unfinished business. Here we see Ed and Molly in spirit form. Molly tells her brother that she wants to find Susan and help her. Ed hesitates, but ultimately agrees. Meanwhile, Susan wanders the same realm, crying out for help. In the distance, we hear someone whistling, drawing closer. It's none other than the soul of the merciless, psychopathic killer who took her life.
Susan, I'm here.
Where are you? Please, where am I?
Don't you worry. You're in safe hands, Susan. Welcome to Wonderland, your new home. Isn't it beautiful?
Am I
Dead? No. Not yet, at least. Your heart is still beating, but your body is now functionless. slowly suffocating. But here, you're safe. The spirit doesn't pass on quite as fast as the body does. I would know.
Who are you?
Oh, where are my manners? Pleasure to meet you. My name is Bond, and you're Susan. I've had my eye on you. I know you very well, my friend. I know you like to fix things, isn't that right? Well, so do I. Wouldn't you like me to fix you?
What are you talking about?
Perhaps I could help you. Here, a gift. Take a look inside.
I don't understand.
That is the new you. A wonderful gift that will eventually become your new body. Just like a beautiful butterfly bursting from a cocoon. You will be reborn.
What am I listening?
You don't have to listen to me. That is up to you. But what other choice do you have? A spirit can't survive without being tethered to a vessel. I know you're scared. I was too. But everything will be okay.
I don't...
Apologies for what I had to do to you. But look, the hard part is over with now. Besides, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
We've finally reached the last available video, Lacrimosa, a hidden entry belonging to the Walton Files 4, which, like all the others, can be found scattered throughout the episode. The title is a direct reference to Mozart's Lacrimosa, the same piece that played during the infamous Rabbit is Starving scene in the Relocation Project tapes. So naturally, the presence of both Banny and Susan is guaranteed here, and this time, that disturbing scene is shown in far greater detail. The video's description gives us some intriguing context. Felix Archer Kranken reportedly arrived at the station in the morning on May 3rd. He had a broken pair of glasses, dirty blue pants, and a yellow dress shirt stained with dirt and blood. By the time I got the call, he was already in custody. We sat him down for a few hours, and he revealed valuable information about a case we had just been told about earlier that same day by Mr. Jack Walton. Walton's two youngest children, Ed and Molly Walton, had disappeared with Kranken the night before. Felix's alibi claimed he'd been unconscious for about 20 minutes after the crash, and when he woke up, the kids were gone. The video opens on the banks of the Clear Hill River, where the Brighton Police Department is investigating the disappearance of Edward and Molly Walton. One of the children's shoes floats gently in the water until the footage suddenly glitches and transitions into a different tape. This new tape briefly recaps what we already know about the CT console, information previously mentioned in Charles Brooks' notes. But then, without warning, the footage cuts abruptly to the remains of Susan Woodings trapped inside the now headless Banny animatronic moments after she was attacked by Bon. In the background, we hear a voicemail from Charles Brooks, expressing sorrow over his missing friend. He says she was last seen on June 30th, though he's unsure of the date due to being ill at the time. As Charles speaks, we see Bon forcing Banny's head onto Susan's twitching body. Shockingly, she appears to still be alive. All of this unfolds while the soul of Bon, whom we can now identify as also being Bon, stares directly at us from a nearby shelf. Slowly, his face grows larger until it fills the entire screen, and then fades to black. Afterward, the tape displays a map of the backstage, now strangely merged with Wonderland. This might be a sign that Susan has died for good, and her spirit is now fully trapped inside Banny. Suddenly, we see her begin to rise. She's breathing heavily, agonizingly, as she stumbles through the dark, empty halls of Bon's Burgers. Room after room, she walks through a seemingly endless maze, until she encounters an old CRT television. On screen is the corner of a room filled with static noise. Eventually, a shadowy figure appears, interrupting the signal. From the darkness, Bon watches her every move. As she approaches, a deep, guttural voice urges her to follow it. A door opens, leading into Wonderland. Perhaps everything we've seen has been taking place there, rather than in the physical world. Before Susan can react, Bon appears right in front of her, this time headless, part of his endoskeleton exposed, with glowing eyes piercing through the darkness. And just like that, the video cuts to black, marking the end of all currently available content. Alright, it's time to talk about this in more depth. What really happened to Jack Walton? We don't actually know. I mean, he's the first person we ever hear about going missing, and we assume he's dead, but ironically, he's the one we know the least about. There are countless theories floating around out there, but none of them feel truly conclusive to me. On one hand, a lot of people believe Jack's soul is the one possessing Bon. That's pretty much what everyone thought at the start of the series. But that theory kind of falls apart the more you look at it. Not only does the entity inside Bon look nothing like Jack, and openly refer to itself as Bon, but their personalities are completely different. One is a sadistic, psychopathic killer, while the other was, at least on the surface, a hardworking father and seemingly good person who would have done anything for his kids. And yet, the fact that Bon almost always shows up right around the time Jack appears on screen, it's a clue that basically screams at you. They're connected somehow. Some have speculated that Jack's soul might be trapped within the tapes themselves, but I don't really buy that either. Most of his appearances seem to be the souls of Ed, Molly, Rosemary, Susan, and Charles trying to jog Sophie's memory, pushing her to remember what happened to her father. Maybe I'm wrong and there's something more going on, but at this stage, any theory we can come up with feels a bit premature, especially considering that, believe it or not, the series is only just beginning. Then there's Find Jack Walton, a website entirely dedicated to his disappearance. It's full of interesting information, plus some hidden links that lead to other pages. If enough people ask for it in the comments, then in addition to the upcoming video on the non-canon episodes, I'll also make one where I dig into everything that can be found on findjackwalton.com. But for now, we reach the end. Alright, that's all for today. I honestly can't wait to see how this amazing series continues, and I really hope the 5th installment drops sooner rather than later, so we can all finally enjoy it together. That said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to support this one as much as possible and share it with as many people as you can. Also, make sure to follow me on my other social media platforms, where I post exclusive short-form content you won't find on YouTube. And most importantly, A huge shout out to the channel members. Truly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you'd like to become a member, just click the join button next to the subscribe button to unlock tons of perks and exclusive emojis while supporting me. If you're interested, join in. I'll be eternally grateful. And remember, this video was made by a cat, and cats can't talk. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you soon. After months of waiting, the Walton Files is finally back with a brand new mini-sode. And while it's not one of the 2 big episodes we've all been waiting for, it's absolutely worth your time. What starts off as a simple corporate training tape about a support hotline for K9 facility caretakers quickly spirals into a terrifying experience that puts one employee's life at serious risk. If you've never seen this analog horror series before, I highly recommend checking out the video that's popping up on screen right now. In it, I break down the full story and all of its characters in detail. You'll also find the link in the description of this video. And yes, I know I'm a bit late to this one. My original plan was to wait for the Walton Files 5 and cover both episodes together in a single video, but I couldn't resist. Honestly, I think both episodes deserve their own spotlight anyway. That said, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who responded to the pinned comment in the last video and for the incredible support you always give me. Remember, if you'd like to be featured in the next video, make sure to reply to the pinned comment where you'll find this question. How much money would you accept to work a night shift at the K9 storage facility? Without further ado, don't forget to leave your precious like and subscribe to help the channel grow and reach more people. Every like is one more coin to escape poverty. If you're unsure what to comment, just type meow in the comments section and I'll give you a heart in return. Comments are incredibly important and help the video a lot, so don't forget to leave yours. Welcome back to the Walton Files. Hotline is a corporate training tape produced by Bunny Smiles Incorporated, dated June 20th, 1977. It was created in-house as part of a training package for new employees, specifically for the caretakers of the K9 storage facility. Chronologically, this episode takes place between the closure of Bond's Burgers and the failure of the Relocate project. But before diving into the tape itself, it's worth stopping to look at the video's description, because once again, Anthony makes an appearance. For those unfamiliar, Anthony is a recurring character who has recovered and uploaded most of the tapes tied to this disturbing story. He often uses the video descriptions to share relevant info about where the tapes came from or how he got his hands on them. This time, here's what he writes.
Hey, mystery solvers. Found this one with my friend Danny while hiking back in Michigan. You won't believe this, but it was left in the same spot I found tapes 1 and 2. Weird. Danny told me there's apparently an error where from 3 minutes 14 seconds onwards, there's just a white screen for the remainder of the video. Sorry about that. Apparently there's no way to fix it.
The tape begins with the classic BSI logo, followed by the voice of the instructor who, in typical corporate tone, welcomes both new and returning employees. He wishes them a happy summer break and hopes they've enjoyed the bonus, a gift basket filled with items focused on health, exercise, and weight loss, plus a plush toy of Billy. We then transition to footage of the K9 storage facility, the sinister warehouse where the remnants of Bond's Burgers are kept. Little Bond appears on screen dressed in his facility caretaker outfit as the narrator wishes the K9 staff good luck over the coming weeks. He remarks that maintaining such a big, dusty place can be quite a challenge. Although we already know the real challenge isn't the facility itself, but what's inside it. As he speaks, we're shown footage from inside the warehouse. The building is clearly in bad shape, with visible signs of decay and a massive vault door presumably used to secure the most important items. To help the workers manage their duties, the tape introduces the BSI hotline service, hence the episode's title. This is a nighttime phone line exclusive to K9 caretakers. It operates from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., and the tape includes a practical example of how to use it, even showing the real phone number on screen, although it seems to be inactive now.
BSI hotline. How can I help you tonight?
Hey, I just hurt my leg while doing my usual maintenance. It really hurts. Boy, I sure hope I don't bleed out.
No problem. I'll send someone right away. Please stand by.
The tape also mentions that if employees need help with their tasks, they can consult the training tapes stored in the lobby inside a box with the same name. During this segment, a man dressed as Cybertelly appears on screen waving next to the worn-down Bond animatronic. The instructor thanks the caretakers for keeping the roots of this ever-growing company alive, but then abruptly loses all interest in what he's saying. He lets out a long yawn and drops the corporate tone entirely. This is the first time we've seen something like this in one of these tapes, briefly breaking the formal tone and hinting that even the instructor doesn't take BSI seriously anymore, a company clearly in decline at this point in the timeline. The segment ends with a close-up shot of Bond's face and the ironic message, "Take care while you caretake." Then, the screen cuts suddenly to handheld footage from inside the K9 facility. Whoever is filming walks through familiar locations, the vault door, the main hallway leading to the back doors, and takes a few shots of Bond and Shaw. A small but telling detail. The inside of Bond's animatronic suit is stamped with the word Cyberfun, referencing Cyberfun Tech, the company responsible for providing the materials used to create the showstoppers. Despite the eerie atmosphere, everything seems calm, until suddenly the silence is broken by distant footsteps and a faint voice echoing through the halls. The person quickly turns the camera toward one of the corridors. The strange sounds continue, but nothing appears. And then we hit 3 minutes and 14 seconds, exactly when, according to Anthony, the screen goes completely white. This is where Anthony's tape ends. What we're about to see next is no longer a recording. We're witnessing, in real time, the man behind the camera, David Gonzalez, a night shift worker at the K9 facility, as he experiences the worst night of his life. David appears tense, sweaty, afraid. He knows something is seriously wrong with this place, so he reaches out to the BSI hotline. While he waits, he turns to glance at the hallway behind him. At first glance, you might have thought, just like I did, that this was a ghost or something similar. But it's actually just a statue. Nothing important. After what feels like an eternity, the call finally goes through. On the other end is Mike, an operator from BSI's main office, who speaks with a mocking, dismissive attitude the entire time. David tries to explain that he doesn't feel safe in the facility, that something is watching him, that he's been hearing strange noises, but Mike brushes it all off with vague, sarcastic responses, even when David mentions a foul, unbearable stench filling the building. David doesn't back down. He insists that something is wrong and begs to be taken out of there. But no matter how hard he tries, it's pointless. Mike reminds him that his shift doesn't end until 10 a.m. and that no one will come pick him up early. The boss is very strict about these things. While Mike is saying this, David looks back at the hallway, and this time, something is there. At the end of the corridor, the spirit of Charles Brooks stares at him silently for a few seconds before vanishing into the darkness. David is frozen in place. Meanwhile, Mike continues talking as if nothing happened, offering David a $5 gift card for company merchandise if he stays until the end of his shift. Then, he hangs up. David is now completely alone. Suddenly, the children's song, "It's Raining, It's Pouring," begins to play. Its innocent tone made unsettling by the context. Even in the midst of fear, David gathers his courage and decides to investigate. What he finds is far from reassuring. The Buzu animatronic, standing perfectly still, playing the song on a loop. Disturbed, David steps back, looking around, spotting a baby doll and a withered bouquet of flowers hanging from the ceiling. The doll has shown up before, and many believe it may be connected to Charles somehow. Returning to the main hallway, the sounds grow more intense. We hear whispers, seemingly coming from the vents. David takes out his camera to record it all, and that's when Charles Brooks' ghost fully manifests. We get a clearer view than ever of what's left of his body after being brutally murdered by Bond. Charles tries to speak, but his words are incomprehensible. From what we can tell, it seems like he's trying to warn David, and not without reason. David screams in absolute panic, but what he doesn't know is that the real threat is just about to peek through the door. Faced with imminent danger, David abandons his caretaker duties and runs for his life. Against all odds, he makes it out. He becomes the first known survivor of a direct encounter with Bond. Right at the moment when Bond lunges at him, David drops his camera in shock. But even after he escapes, the recording keeps going, and suddenly the bloody face of Charles Brooks slowly slides into frame. Then a deeply unsettling shot appears. Charles and Susan Woodings, both staring directly at us. Finally, Susan's spirit manifests, merged with the body of the Banny animatronic. She approaches the camera slowly, her neck grotesquely twisted. Suddenly, Susan jerks forward, her neck twisting even further as she says, "As I explained in the previous video, the victims of this story often attempt to communicate through the tapes and other analog formats because it's their only way to ask for help." The video ends by showing the baby doll once more, except now it seems to be singing the same song as Buzu, once again tying it to Charles. Suddenly, the doll looks straight into the camera, and we get one final message. "See you soon." So, what did you think? Honestly, I can't wait for episodes 5 and 6 to drop. It's been confirmed they're both coming out later this year, just 1 week apart, and they'll mark the end of the Walton Files Season 1. And when the time comes, I hope you're ready for the deep dive breakdowns I'll be bringing right here on the channel. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to support this one as much as possible and share it with as many people as you can. Also, make sure to follow me on my other social media platforms, where I post exclusive content you won't find here on YouTube. And most importantly, a massive shout out to the channel members. Seriously, thank you all so much. If you'd like to become a member, just click the join button next to the subscribe button to unlock tons of perks and exclusive emojis while supporting me. If you're interested, join in. I'll be forever grateful. And last but definitely not least, a very special thank you to Why So Serious for your donation. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And remember, this video was made by a cat, and cats can't talk. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you soon. A promise is a promise. After the incredible support the ultimate analysis of the Walton Files received, I knew I absolutely had to do this. So, here it is. Today, we're diving deep into the non-canon episodes of this amazing series: Buzu's Ghost, The Mysterious House, and The Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit. While these stories aren't part of the main storyline of the Walton Files, they share the same eerie aesthetic and much of the unsettling horror that defines the original series. Plus, they feature a few interesting cameos from familiar characters and well-known locations. Anyway, let's not drag this out any longer. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who responded to the pinned comment in the last video and for the incredible support you always give me. Remember, if you'd like to be featured in the next video, make sure to reply to the pinned comment where you'll find this question. Who do you think is more dangerous, Bond or the Pumpkin Rabbit? Without further ado, don't forget to leave your precious like and subscribe to help the channel grow and reach more people. Every like is one more coin to escape poverty. If you're unsure what to comment, just type meow in the comments section and I'll give you a heart in return. Comments are incredibly important and help the video a lot, so don't forget to leave yours. Welcome to the ultimate analysis of the non-canon episodes of the Walton Files. What if Charles Dickens' classic A Christmas Carol were reimagined as a dark horror short film? For those unfamiliar, though I'd be surprised, A Christmas Carol is a novella published in 1843 by Charles Dickens. It tells the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, a cold, greedy, and lonely man who despises Christmas and everything it represents. The plot follows Scrooge as he is visited on Christmas Eve by 4 ghosts. The ghost of his former business partner, Jacob Marley, who warns him that he's doomed by his own greed, but still has a chance to change. The ghost of Christmas Past, who shows him his childhood and youth, revealing how he gradually lost his sensitivity and became bitter. The ghost of Christmas Present, who shows how others celebrate the holiday with love and generosity, even while living in poverty. And finally, the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, who reveals the dark fate that awaits Scrooge if he doesn't change, death and eternal oblivion. Shaken by what he sees, Scrooge undergoes a deep transformation. When he wakes up on Christmas morning, he becomes a kind, generous, and joyful man who helps others and embraces the holiday spirit. Boozoo's Ghosts is a Christmas special released by Martin Walls on December 31st, 2020. This short presents a much darker take on the tale and a grim warning of what can happen when greed takes over our lives. It all begins with Boozoo, a bitter old man who owns a toy store and doesn't believe in Christmas. We see him scolding his employee, Banny, after she accidentally breaks a mug while cleaning. Then, in a particularly cruel move, especially considering the time of year, he tells her the mug's cost will be deducted from a salary he doesn't even pay. Banny pleads with him, desperately trying to reason with him. It's Christmas Eve and she needs to feed her family, but Boozoo refuses. He doesn't care. Christmas means nothing to him. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. It's Heidi, a raccoon asking for donations for the poor. But Boozoo, with no shame at all, steals the money from Heidi's donation cup and slams the door in his face. This is the man we'll be following for the rest of this twisted little tale. Selfish, greedy, and completely disconnected from the consequences of his actions. That night, Boozoo goes to sleep, but not for long. A loud noise wakes him up. He gets up to investigate